Good evening, everyone. Today's October 21st, 2025. I'd like to call to order our regular meeting. Time now is 7:32. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to turn over to Mrs. Muscarella for superintendent's comments.
Good evening, and welcome to October. So we're really excited to have kicked off our fall adult education program running for the next 6 weeks. Some of the residents they're all excited about starting the great lineup of courses that include things such as, there you go. I got a microphone, I forgot. There you go. Okay, can you hear me? Some of the courses being offered are beginner and intermediate yoga, volleyball, beginner and advanced pickleball, and I guess they leave out intermediate, beginner and advanced cricket, which I think is amazing, and strength and stretch. So whether you're looking to stay active or meet others in the community, there's something for everybody. So try to go, sign up when they come around again. Exciting news, Plain Edge High School homecoming football game was quite a memorable event. Of course, we played Locust Valley and we won. What are you gonna do? But it's a beautiful tradition where they call Pass the Torch, where kindergarten students come to the game, and prior to the game's start, they go onto the field and the high school seniors pass the torch to them. It's really quite a touching moment and really a sobering reminder about how quickly our children grow. So I'm sure there were a couple of tears in that audience. And congratulations, of course, to the Plain Edge varsity football team, the cheer team, the Devillettes, and our marching band for their incredible spirit and performances. In other high school sports news, too, is a huge shout out to varsity volleyball setter, Ava Nitch, for achieving an incredible milestone of 1,000 career assists, the most in Plain Edge history. So congratulations, Ava. We're excited to announce the Edge of the Arcade Stream event, which will take place on November 3rd at Plain Edge High School. Come experience the amazing work of our 5th graders who have recently engineered unique, one-of-a-kind arcade games completely designed and built using the engineering design process. With just cardboard, tape, markers, and other maker supplies, the students created imaginative and interactive games that are not only fun to play, but also showcase the incredible creativity, problem solving, and teamwork that's involved. These students designed arcade games that are elaborate, thoughtful, and inspiring. And the best part, the families and children pre-K through 5th grade are invited to play games together during this exciting event. We're so proud of our students' effort to create, collaborate, and think critically and communicate in our Stream studios across the district. So don't miss out. You can go on plainedgestream.com to register today. We have a Law Enforcement and First Responders Day every year. This year it was in October. It just took place on October 16th. Thanks to the efforts of Dr. DiPaola. We proudly hosted our annual Law Enforcement and First Responders Day, which is a really special occasion, a special honor to our heroes who serve and protect our community with unwavering dedication. This meaningful event was celebrated across all of the buildings, at 3 elementary buildings and of course at the high school and middle school. And students participated in a variety of activities with interactive gear demonstrations with the first responders, visits from the K-9 units, read aloud sessions, and hands-on learning at investigation and safety challenge stations. In the middle school and the high school, students participated in question and answer sessions and presentations led by various enforcement agencies. They also had the opportunity to engage in fitness stations, emphasizing the physical demands and readiness required in public safety careers. And we're thrilled to share that our t-shirt fundraiser raised an incredible over $2,500, and half of that money will go to the Nassau County Police Department, or Nassau Department Foundation, and the other half to the Brian Moore Foundation, 2 organizations that do vital work in support of our law enforcement and community outreach. And a big thank you to our administrators, teachers, support staff for their hard work and dedication in making this day so impactful. And to the PFT for graciously providing breakfast for all of our guests. Special thanks to the 7th and 8th Precinct top officers for their support and presence during the event, and the many elected officials and Board of Education members who joined us as well. Last but not least, I want to share some exciting news from the music department. The music suite here in the high school is up and running, and while I can talk about how wonderful it is, I will let you see and hear from the music experts themselves in this video. Behind me, maybe, yep, there it is.
Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Lakes, choir director here at Plainridge High School, and around me is our brand new space. The students have been coming in so excited to use this new space. It sounds amazing, it looks amazing. We're really lucky to have this.
Welcome to the new music room. We're so excited. The orchestra students and I have been working hard in here, and we noticed a big difference in the acoustics. We noticed so many things that need to be worked on pitch-wise compared to the stage. It was really difficult to hear on the stage, and here we can hear everything. The lockers are beautiful, the storage, and we're loving our new space, and I can't thank you enough for everything.
Everyone, welcome to the new music wing, and especially to our brand new extended band room here. We are super excited to be able to finally access the space and start rehearsing here. Our students are super excited. All the sound panel, the sound acoustics, everything's going to be fantastic. We really can't wait to go to the space.
It really is just beautiful. It's amazing to go in there and just like walk through it, and they have all the panels to absorb the sound so things aren't bouncing off of the cement. So we're very fortunate to have that, and of course you heard from our music instructors that they're so happy about it as well. With that, I would like to introduce our student representative, my West's very own, well, National High School very own, Leah Moulton. Leah.
Alright, so there's been a lot of fun and exciting things going on. The Best Buddies have kicked off the school year with their Getting to Know You party, and they're looking forward to their next big event, which is their Friendsgiving celebration. Cheer also started off the season strong with an exciting competition. 10 JV teams and 18 varsity teams came to compete. Vendors sold food and t-shirts, and there was a $5 entry fee. And this was all to help the team go to Florida for nationals in February. The Honor Society induction happened. 10th, 11th, and 12th graders were inducted into various honor societies on Wednesday, October 15th. These honor societies include art, math, English, science, and Tri-M. It was a proud night for the district students and parents. The same evening, the girls' volleyball dig paint games were played. Both JV and varsity worked hard to raise money for Maggie's Wish through a 50-50 raffle, t-shirt sale, and bake sale. Moving on to the student councils, the freshmen have been focused on solidifying their councils and learning the ropes to set the year up for success. Sophomores are getting into the Halloween spirit by working out a blue bag fundraiser for the week of the 27th, where students can gift their friends a sweet treat during the day. And moving quickly through the holidays, the juniors are preparing for their Thanksgiving White Post Farm Pie fundraiser. Last but not least, the senior class has been very busy for the start of the school year. We just wrapped up our senior logo wear and are getting ready to open our blanket drive. All of the student councils have been preparing for homecoming by painting a banner and decorating the hallways with their superhero and planet's colors. Peer coaching has also been very involved in raising school spirit by creating a hype video shown during advisory, and they also went into each freshman advisory class to further hype up and encourage the freshmen to get involved. Leading up to homecoming, all grades participated in a spirit week. Tuesday was pajama day, Wednesday was superhero and class colors, and Thursday was Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. On this day, NCPD Explorer Program visited the ILC and spoke with 5 groups of senior students from PEP, Criminal Justice, and the Forensics Program. In the week leading up to this event, students created thank you cards in the library and posters during advisory to show their appreciation for law enforcement and first responders. Throughout the day, classes also heard from a Suffolk County probation officer and a member of the Secret Service who shared insights about their career. In PE classes, students engaged with the National Guard and had the opportunity to test their skills using interactive video game simulations, including landing an airplane and practicing target accuracy with a rubber-tipped bow and arrow. Finally, Friday was Spirit Day, ending in a pep rally. The student councils each decorated a section of the bleachers with their finished banners, streamers, and signs made in advisory. Everyone enjoyed watching a skit put on by 2 to 4 students from each grade as their superhero and their student council advisors, dressed as the Jokers, before Superman, played by Miss Ayoko, saved the day. The kickline and cheer team performed, and each sports team got the chance to be cheered on as they ran through the gym. Before starting the homecoming game, the seniors participated in the passing of the torch. We gathered on the field to walk to the kindergarten class, handing them decorated grad caps and inspirational sayings, along with a bracelet. We were able to talk to them, answering questions about high school and learning what they are excited for most. The homecoming game went well, with the packed student section cheering on the football game on as they won against Locust Valley. Lastly, during halftime, the 2025 homecoming court created by the senior class was brought out, with PJ Bruno winning homecoming king and Sam Borgia winning queen. Going back to Halloween, numerous clubs are getting ready to participate in the second Safe Halloween event on Monday, October 27th. The senior council is going to be decorating the lobby. The National Honor Society is collecting bags of candy for each room to give out to the kids. The Science Honor Society is looking to top their dry ice experiment from last year. And then Math Honor Society, Forensic Club, and numerous other clubs are in the process of collecting decorations to make this night memorable. Not only will this night be fun, but a food drive is also taking place to help the people in need. And then tonight, the high school band is participating in the Newsday Band Fest. They are excited to show off what they've been preparing, following the theme of Glee Showstoppers at Mitchell Field Athletic Complex.
Thank you, Leah.
Yeah, do you have the picture of Mrs. Ayoko in the Superwoman costume?
I do not.
Is that it?
Mr. Benaruti, I know that we have at least one student here from high school also who wanted to speak to the board about a topic that's very important to them. So I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules, a second period of public comment period at this point for the students to come up so that they're able to leave when they like and not assist through the whole meeting. Hopefully this is a shorter meeting, but I'll have you come up now.
Do I have a second?
Second, Matt.
Mrs. Pascarello, all in favor?
Motion passes.
Yeah, of course. Good evening. I'm Bhargav Patel, and I go to Plainedge High School. Is there a way to move this off a bit? A bit too tall. No. Yes. I'm from Plainedge High School, and I'm a junior that goes to Plainedge High School, and I'm advocating that our school gives a day off for Diwali. And basically, I'm going to go through my speech. I'm going to show you a couple of images of what we do on Diwali and my whole argument here. So, good evening, members of the board. My name is Bhargav Patel, and I'm here today to speak about something that means a lot to me, Diwali. Over the past few weeks, I started a petition asking our district to give students and staff a day off for Diwali, and I'm proud to share that the petition now has 310 signatures from students and staff at Plainedge High School who all believe this change would make a real difference. But before I get into why we should have a day off for Diwali, I ask whoever in this room celebrates Christmas, especially parents, to imagine something for a moment. Imagine it's Christmas morning. Your whole family is gathered around, ready to light the Christmas tree, open gifts, and share the joy of the season. But your child can't be there because they have to be in school. I also ask whoever celebrates Rosh Hashanah to imagine it's Rosh Hashanah, and your family is preparing a special meal, offering prayers, and celebrating the start of a new year together. Now imagine your child having to miss those moments sitting in school while everyone else is at home, celebrating one of the most meaningful days of the year. That's what it feels like for students like me on Diwali to watch an important and cultural and spiritual day pass by while we're in class thinking about our families and traditions. It's not about wanting the day off, it's about missing a tradition that connects us to who we are. For those who may not be familiar, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is one of the most important holidays in Hinduism. It celebrates the return of Lord Ram and Goddess Sita to their kingdom of Ayodhya after 14 years of exile and his victory over the demon king Ravan. When Lord Ram returned, the people lit rows of lamps or diyas and made Rangoli designs using colored sand to guide his way home. This symbolizes the victory of light over darkness and good over evil. Diwali is actually part of a 5-day celebration, each day having its own meaning and traditions, from preparing the home and honoring the goddess of wealth, goddess Lakshmi, and the wisdom, goddess Saraswati, to celebrating family and new beginnings. The main day of Diwali is the most important, when families gather to light diyas, exchange sweets and gifts, and pray for peace, prosperity, and happiness. And as someone who celebrates Diwali, it's always been difficult to have to choose between my education and my faith, between coming to school or staying at home to celebrate with my family and community. When I'm in school on Diwali, I can't help but feel like I'm missing something deeply meaningful. That's why I'm asking the board to recognize Diwali as an official school holiday, just as holidays like Eid al-Adha are recognized, so that students, regardless of background, feel seen and respected in our diverse community. Also, schools around Plano, such as Bethpage, Hicksville, Plainview, Levittown, and East Meadow give a day off for Diwali, recognizing the holiday at their schools. So with that in mind, Plano should recognize Diwali too, to make sure that all students, regardless of background, feel noticed and respected in our multicultural community. And along with the petition, I'd also like to share a few pictures with you this evening that show how my community and I celebrate Diwali and the Indian New Year. When I hand out the pictures, you'll be able to see the diyas we light, the Rangoli designs we make, and how much joy we share. These moments are about community, faith, and togetherness, and I want every student who celebrates Diwali to be able to experience that fully without worrying about missing school. So in recognizing Diwali in our district would be taking an important step towards inclusivity and cultural understanding, something I know our district truly values because of the Plainage Pride posters in many classrooms throughout the school. Thank you for listening, and thank you for considering this request on behalf of all students and families to celebrate Diwali. So I'm gonna give pictures to Mr. Beirudi, and I'm gonna explain some of them, and you can just pass them along so all you guys can see the pictures and understand what we do on Diwali. Because if you understand it, you would be able, then more likely you would understand like what we do on the day off. So before I get into handing out the pictures to help visualize what Diwali is and some traditions, as I mentioned before, there are 5 days of Diwali, with Diwali being the 3rd day. So I am a Gujarati, which is a region/state in India on the western side of the Indian map. And for Gujarati families, the Indian New Year, also known as Bestu Baras, the 4th day of Diwali, is more important than Diwali for us. But I'm advocating not just for my Gujarati community, but for everyone who celebrates Diwali, because Diwali is something that unites all Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Jains across India. So I'm going to start with giving a picture and I'll explain it. There's going to be like 6 images, so I'm going to come back and forth. This is the first image. Go back to explain this.
Do you want to leave me pictures out as you start? I'll give them. And
Okay, that's fine.
This way you're not going back and forth, and make it a little easier on you. Okay.
The first image is something called Dhan Pujan. And Dhan Pujan is on the 1st day of Diwali, which is also known as Dhanteras. It marks the 1st day of the Diwali festival and is a celebration of wealth, knowledge, and prosperity. On this day, people worship Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, to seek blessings for success. It's also considered an auspicious day to buy gold, silver, or new utensils, symbolizing good fortune and prosperity for the coming year. Homes are decorated with lights and rangoli to welcome positivity and divine blessings. So as you can see at my house, my family and I did a small worship on the day of Dhanteras, the 1st day of Diwali, to welcome home the 2 goddesses. I'm going to take a sip of water. I'll just wait until he's done with the picture, and then I'll continue. Oh, you're waiting? Also, if you guys are wondering what I'm wearing, it's basically Indian traditional wear. As you can see, some of my family is also wearing to just represent our community, and that's all. Okay. So the second image, this is a Rangoli design I made using colored sand to put on the two sides of a mini temple in my house. And it's a traditional Indian art form made on the floor using colored sand, rice, or flower petals, especially during festivals like Diwali. It's usually created near entrances or temples to welcome guests and positive energy into the home. The beautiful patterns and bright colors symbolize happiness, prosperity, and good luck. Making Rangoli is also a way to express creativity and celebrate the joy and spirit of the festival. Okay, so the next image, or next set of images, I think, is called Chopra Pujan. And Chopra Pujan is done on the day of Diwali, and it's called book worship. So Chopra Pujan, which is also known as book worship, is a Hindu ritual performed on the day of Diwali to mark the start of a new beginning for you to do your accounting. On this day, people worship their books and important documents to seek blessings from God. Many families and business owners begin new financial records after the puja or the worship, symbolizing a fresh, auspicious start. Sometimes, even if you're a student like me, you can do the puja or the worship to your notebooks for school, so you can get your notes can be sanctified or whatever. I think the next image is already there, so I'll explain that one too. So basically, that image, you see two people tying a string to each other, right? So I'm assuming you guys are confused after seeing it. But basically, during the puja or the worship, Chopra Pujan, people tie rakis or naracharis, which are sacred threads on each other's wrists. This symbolizes mutual blessings, protection, and good wishes for success and prosperity in the new year. It represents unity, respect, and the strengthening of relationships with families and the community. By exchanging these sacred threads, people show the unity we have with each other. I think the next image is also being passed up. I'll explain it again. And basically, in that image, you probably see like a mountain of food, and you're also wondering what that is. And that's known as Bestuvaras, as I mentioned before, also known as the Hindu New Year. And it's celebrated the day after Diwali, and it marks the beginning of a new year according to the Gujarati calendar. And it symbolizes new beginnings, prosperity, and happiness. On this day, families visit temples, exchange sweets, and start fresh businesses and financial accounts to invite good fortune for the year ahead. Also, on the day of Bestuvaras, there's Ankur, which means a mountain of food. And devotees prepare and offer a large variety of vegetarian dishes to God on steps as a way to show gratitude and devotion, which is shown in the first two images. And then the beautifully arranged food symbolizes abundance and is later shared as prasad, or also known as blessed food, among everyone, as shown in the third image. Also, when the food is placed on the steps, during that time, people sing devotional songs of God about accepting this food and accepting our love in it. Okay. The other image, the one that Miss Mascarella has, so on the last set of images about the Bestuvaras, the Hindu New Year, on the second image, there's someone with a flame. So I want to explain what that flame means. And basically, that flame is called Aarti. And Aarti is a Hindu ritual performed to express love and devotion through God, love and devotion to God through light. And during Aarti, a small lamp or a plate with lit wicks soaked in ghee or oil is gently waved in front of a god or deity while prayers are sung, as shown in the first image. And the light represents the removal of darkness and ignorance and the spreading of positivity and blessings. At the end, devotees place their hand over the flame and then touch their foreheads to receive the divine energy and blessings, as shown in the second image. And that's the end of the images. Do you want me to come give you the petition?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Do you want an original or? Because I have.
Whatever you prefer.
This is the copy.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Does anyone have any questions?
No, you did a great job.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate you coming down. Thank you again for coming down and explaining Diwali to us. And I think, the board obviously will have to consider it as we develop the school calendar. Thank you. Does anyone have comments or questions?
No, I want to say that it's very impressive at any age that they come up and speak in public, and you're very poised, very well spoken, articulate, and appreciated all the information and rubbing off the petition.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to routine approvals. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 12th, 2025 meeting? Mr. Garcia, second. Second. Mr. Pascarella, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 16th, 2025 business meeting? Mrs. Versace, second. Mr. Howard, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 29th, 2025 special meeting? Mr. Morrissey, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
You need to do extensions and
Noes? Abstention.
motion passes 5-0-2.
Do I have a motion to approve warrant reports 15, 18, 20 to 22, 24 to 25, and 27? Mr. Morrissey, second. Second. Mr. Pascarella, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Excuse me. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report, August 2025? Mr. Garcia, second. Mr. Morrissey, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Moving on to reports, discussions, and presentations. Before we get started, you don't have to, you can stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can go home, up to whoever's in the audience. But anyway, we'll turn it over. Sorry, I
Trying to run out of here.
depends if you're interested. If you want to watch, you're more than welcome to stay. I don't know if there's more celebrating tonight. But all right, sorry, Lisa.
I just want to say, Dr. DiPio will be presenting with some of her staff, and she introduced them, but I do need to say that today is her birthday. Just gonna say that out loud. So happy birthday.
We're gonna sing here?
Thank you.
Good evening. As Mrs. Nasrallah said, I am joined up here by our team that works endlessly on providing a lot of opportunities for our students here in Plain Edge. So with me here is Dennis Ricci. He's the Assistant to the Superintendent of Academic Services. And Alina Kludskin is the Curriculum Associate for Humanities, and Samantha Cardicello for Math, Science, Technology, and Research. So we're going to present to you assessment data that leads to our students leaving the doors of Plain Edge. And our goal is to provide as many opportunities that meet their needs and interests as the world evolves and get them ready for the outside world. So we're going to start with, we always show you the advanced placement courses that we offer. Year to year it changes. Students' interests change, students' goals and aspirations change. I'm happy to say that when we look at how many students are enrolled in AP courses for our population of about 800 students, we have 532 students enrolled in those courses that you see there. I want to note that AP Seminar, we had offered in the past, but last year we had decided that we had researched it in other school districts of what they were doing with AP Seminar. And a lot of school districts had decided that instead of English 10 honors, to go the AP Seminar route, because they still are able to achieve their English credit for the graduation requirements, but they were also getting that experience, the AP Seminar, which was leading to increased enrollment in the AP research classes. So we did research, we saw the best model to use. We had 61 students enrolled for our first year ever last year. And I'm proud to say the work of our English and our social studies department that every single one of those 61 students received college credit last year. They received the 3 or higher, so to have 100% success rate in that in our first year. And we are seeing we have about the same number of students enrolled this year in AP Seminar. So we're very happy. I want to thank all the teachers because it was something brand new and we did an interdisciplinary approach with the English and the social studies teachers working in tandem. And this is a model that other districts are now asking us how we implemented it successfully. So thank you to all the teachers and administrators involved and the students for your success. The next one we look at is we don't only offer AP options for our students. Some students want the guaranteed, I'm going to do well, I'm going to meet the requirements of the colleges that you see here in order to get the college credit. So a lot of our students opt to go the college credit route where it's dual enrollment versus the AP route. So on here, there's a few classes that I want to point out to you. So we have about steady numbers in these. Spanish 4, we increased almost about 20 students, so it's about a class size of students enrolled in a Spanish 4 college level this year. Another one, college government, we saw an increase about 30 students that were interested in college government this year, as well as our virtual enterprise. We almost doubled our students, and they received 6 college credits for that, and they get to compete in the city, and it's really set up as a real-world business model. The other one that I want to point out is college pre-calc. It's our second year running, and you could see how many students that we have. It says 106 and 53. Those 53 students in that other class, they can take it for the honors. However, they have the option that if they want to go for it, they can go for it. So that gives them the option if they really want to challenge themselves to go for the college credit. And our college child development, that is our first year running. So those are students who are interested in becoming educators, and we are happy that we are able to have them go down to our elementary schools to be able to do their observation hours for that course. So it's a great experience, and we're looking forward to seeing. As you all know, right now, and this may change in however many years to come, we don't know, but right now it is still required for students to take Regents examinations to earn their high school diploma. Right now it's still the 2 different types, the Regents diploma, the advanced Regents. You can see here what each diploma the students need to get with their credits. So before we get there though, we are going to take a look at our elementary enrollment data. This has been a request in the past for us to look at that data. We do have a small sampling of students who take that, as we have discussed in the past, but I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ricci so he can talk about our data leading up to the Regents.
So our first 2 slides we're going to look at are just kind of highlighting the participation rates that we're seeing for these 3 to 7 in math and 3 to 8 examinations for our students. So as you can see, the good thing is that we're starting to see an increase in participation in all of our cohorts for the most part. The thing that we do see though is that obviously there's a steep decline as the students continue to progress through the school year, which, you know, at the building levels, at the district level, just causes us to give a little bit of pause when we're really digging into the data. So we do look for other ways to not only analyze the state assessment data, but other assessments to be able to understand the needs of the students. Similarly, for the ELA tests, we see that same decline going on, but again, we're increasing year to year in our participation, which is, you know, positive. The more participation we have, obviously the data becomes more meaningful for us, and it can help us to inform instruction annually and individualize our needs of each student. So the next 2 slides are going to look at cohort tracking. So the color codes that you see going diagonally down help you to identify how students' cohorts grades are progressing year to year. The third row in each section, I just want to highlight is the participation for those individual cohorts. So obviously, the good thing is that we're seeing that the students from most of our cohorts are making progress both in proficiency and mastery. But again, it's a small sample size for us, so we do kind of make sure that we temper our understanding of what this data means as opposed to other assessments where all of our students are taking it. Similarly for ELA, we're seeing growth pretty much across the board in not only participation increasing, but students' proficiency and mastery increasing as well. Now, the NWEA assessment is something that 100% of our students are taking. This is something that even if students are absent when they're enrolled during the testing period, they're all taking this assessment. So this gives us kind of like a more holistic, big picture view of how our students are progressing year to year. So here, the one thing that we see is that not only are the students performing at or above grade level at higher rates than they are maybe on the state assessments, but 100% of our student population, this includes all demographics of students as well, are participating and achieving really high levels of success, not only in mathematics, but as well in reading. We're seeing good growth from cohort tracking across the board. Very minimal grades where we're seeing pockets that may be slipping, whether that be just because of the rigor of the grade or things like that. And then last year, we rolled out the Envisions Mathematics program. So again, when you're rolling out any new program, there's always this, when you're looking at assessments, you're trying to make sure that it's a new program. It could be big and scary, but we saw that our students were thriving. These are average grades for all of the unit assessments across the entire school year per grade. So we see that the students throughout the year, even though it was a new program, they were very resilient, and the teachers did a fantastic job preparing them for success on their unit assessments as well.
So that leads us into now our conversation about the Regents exam, of where our students have been and where we are going with our different Regents exams.
So if we take a look at the English Common Core Regents exam, you'll see that we did dip a bit in passing. However, we did surpass the county by 11%. With mastery, once again, we did dip a bit, but like I said before, in mastery, we also surpassed the county as well. That dip is consistent with the Nassau County dip as well. I want to note that this January will be our last administration of the Common Core Regents, and in June of 2026, we will be administering the next generation ELA Regents. Our ELA department has already begun that work to unpack the new exam and to take a look at those standards and skills that our students will need for June 2026.
It's important to note also that districts were given the choice of whether they're going to administer the new exam this year or the old. After speaking with colleagues across the county, there's only one to my knowledge at this point, or two to my knowledge, that is going with the new regions. So this allows us, as Mrs. Butskin was talking about, is to see what the new regions has as expectations for our students in order to continue to prepare for the following full administration of the new exam. Now looking at algebra, so this first slide here is algebra for our high school and our middle school students that take it. So, we did dip about 2% in passing and a little bit in, but however, so did Nassau County. And the same thing with mastery, we did go up in mastery from year to year. And we are just, on par with the county in algebra for our high school and middle school. But when we take out just the middle school data, so look at, because majority of our students take the algebra regions in middle school, you can see that we had an amazing success last year. We had 99% of our students pass the algebra regions, 37% achieve mastery, which we far exceed the county in passing at the 8th grade level, as well as we had a higher mastery rate than the county on that.
Next up is the geometry regions. Our students took the first administration of the next generation geometry regions in June of 2025. So you'll notice that we were consistent with our scores in passing and mastery for the first time of the new exam. We are exceeding how Nassau County performed, and we are working towards improving our mastery. For Algebra 2 Common Core Regents, this past June was the last administration of the Algebra 2 Common Core. We'll be moving to the next generation exam this year. You'll see here again, pretty consistent with previous year's results. Our mastery stayed the same, and we improved in our passing stayed the same, and we improved in mastery by 1%. We're exceeding the county again with our passing and on par with the county for our mastery rates.
For US history, you'll see that we were on par from our passing the previous year. In terms of the county, we also were pretty much on par as well. With mastery, we did take a dip as well as compared to the county. However, our social studies department has been working to do data inquiry around that work in their formative assessments, summative assessments to ensure that we're making those instructional shifts and making sure that our tests are aligned with the skills and standards that are necessary to make those improvements. With global history, we had a slight decrease with passing, as well as in Nassau County, we also had a slight decrease as well. In terms of mastery, we stayed on par. Compared to the county, there was also a decrease there as well. Once again, we're doing that data inquiry work in global history and geography to ensure that we're making those instructional shifts.
Okay, so for Earth Science, June 2025, once again, was the last administration of our Earth Science Regents. This year it is Earth and Space Science Regents examination. So our teachers are doing a lot of work to prepare our students for that. But you'll notice here, with the last administration of the old Earth Science Regents, we increased our passing rate by 6% and our mastery rate by 3%. Again, in our passing rate, we are exceeding the county, and we are working to improve our mastery overall. Living environment is very similar. Last June was the last administration of the old living environment exam. We're going back to biology, which will be occurring this year. That's aligned with NISLA standards. You'll see here that we are pretty consistent with our passing and mastery rates for that last administration, and we exceed the county by our passing rate and are on par with the mastery. So for chemistry, if we compare ourselves to our previous year, that's the old exam. We're sticking with the old exam this year still. We're not moving to the NIST yet. We're doing the work in that.
Some people have chosen, very few districts chose to go with the new chemistry. But many districts like us have chose to stay with the old one for this year to see what the new administration, because we were given that option for that one.
And our chemistry teachers have been working hard at going to professional developments and preparing for the new exam for next year, but we're sticking with the previous exam this year. So our passing and mastery are consistent with previous years, with a slight increase in our mastery. And we are a little bit below the county, but we do want to remind you that we allow our students to self-select for chemistry and the next slide, physics. So this gives our students an opportunity to compete nationally with other students who are required to take these courses. It also opened up different pathways for students to explore for careers they might be interested in. Physics, we had a really nice increase from 50% to 61%, so it's an 11% increase, which was amazing, and a 9% increase in mastery. Again, when you're looking at us compared to the county, we allow students to self-select, and we have a high population of students sitting in our physics classes, so that explains that.
So after looking at the data, we are constantly, like I said, our goal is to provide our students with the best opportunities, the most opportunities, and how can we shift instruction to make sure that we're meeting the needs of all students. So our departments regularly perform Regents data inquiry. They're currently diving deep into last year's data. They're making curricular adjustments. They're looking at how to spiral review throughout the year. If you're not familiar with spiral review is, that if you're teaching a unit assessment, you're not just teaching it and forgetting about it. When you teach Unit 2, you're going back and you continue to spiral throughout the year to make sure students are constantly being exposed to those concepts. We are providing professional development on Regent skills. As you heard, they are changing tests every year. So whether it's the English, next year, this year, the bio and the chemistry, but it's constantly changing, so we have to constantly change as well and evolve and make sure that we are staying on track with the changes that the state is making with the skills and standards. We provide our students with after-school Regents prep sessions for January and June Regents exams as well.
And we're continuing to work on our vertical alignment throughout the district. That's not just at the secondary campus with the, regents and AP and college classes, but all the way down now to the elementary. Working on creating plans for that for Superintendent's Conference Day as well. We've been working on implementing assessments at the secondary level for our Regents and AP tracking courses to prepare our students for those classes, making sure that we have multiple checkpoints throughout the year, not just waiting for those Regents and AP exams to come up at the end of the year. And most recently, we've been looking at tools to help teachers analyze the data that kind of takes the heavy lift off of the classroom teacher and gives them all of the data that they need so they can do the deep dive and focus more on making the instructional shifts and how they're going to differentiate to meet the needs of their students. That will help with the progress monitoring throughout the year. And as also some of these tools are very advanced and able to kind of help us, on even a more granular level if teachers feel like it's appropriate as we start to roll it out.
Any questions?
So I did do have a couple of questions. First, obviously the numbers without context and nuance. Looking at some of the numbers, can you maybe walk us through the difference between proficient passing versus mastery? Because seeing some of those differences can be jarring. It helps a little more context around.
So at the high school level, proficiency for New York State Regents exams is 65% or higher, and mastery is 85% or higher. And when you take a Regents exam, it is actually harder to get an 85 or higher than it is in that other area from the 65 to 84. So each Regents is graded very differently on the scale, and but that's what it is for proficiency and mastery for the secondary level.
And then at the elementary, the primary level?
So like the NWEA scores, they're also similarly rated on a bell curve. So as you look at the different cohort, the different pockets, the percentages that the product provides us, the top three categories, which is at slightly above grade level and like significantly above grade level, those are what would be the equivalent of a proficiency, or we called it in the slides above grade or on grade level. Above grade level were those top two pockets where it was the slightly above and above grade level cohorts.
And on the New York State 3 through 8, proficiency is a 3 and 4, and mastery would be a 4. Because it's ranked on a 1 to 4 scale.
Right, but maybe you give us a little more understanding of the differences. So reading a passage would be at grade level, or what would be the skill that would demonstrate mastery?
Well, the ELA, when it's ELA and math, they're assessing whatever skills that are nationally normed for that grade level. So it'd be different on every single grade level. I'd have to, get back to a more specific skills or standards, but that is rating the child as a whole in that subject on the skills and standard that's expected for that grade level. I don't know if that is, but that's.
We can provide some of the data and the national norms, so that'd be great. So my second question touches on the U.S. Government history regents. It was more of maybe a comment and a question you kind of cut in. I know we recently received the seal of civic readiness, so I was surprised to see that.
So the seal of civic readiness has different components, and we had presented it last year. There's a rubric of points that students have to get. So if they are in certain classes and have passed certain classes, they get points. If they are involved in certain service projects, if they're doing other clubs that are tied to the seal of civic readiness. So, I mean, we do have a high percentage of the students passing.
And this kind of ties in, my previous question about national norms.
So they are doing great in their passing and proficiency rate of the U.S. history government regions. But again, remember the seal of civic readiness is a whole picture of a student, and they are getting points for things that they're earning throughout their high school career on that.
I actually have one question. Ms. Cardicello, I think you mentioned something about the chemistry that you compared to the national, but I guess my confusion is the Regents obviously is like a New York State exam. So I'm just trying to understand what you meant by that, because how do you take a New York State exam that's not really given statewide in other states in comparison?
Yeah, so my mention of comparing to the national part was because students nationally are required to take chemistry, where in New York, it seems to be a lot more previous teacher recommendation.
Okay.
So we prefer to let our students self-select so that they have the opportunity to access the curriculum if they want to give it a try.
Okay.
They're not required in New York to take it. It could be, an extra science
Right.
class. They can be working towards their advanced regions diploma and everything, but in other states, students don't have the option to take it. For instance, when I went to school, I was in a different state. I did not have the option to take chemistry. So if a student is looking to go to college outside of New York, or anywhere really, you are competing with students who have to take that. So colleges look at these courses and say, oh, well, they didn't really challenge themselves to take chemistry and physics, but maybe they weren't recommended, where we allow them that opportunity.
Okay.
That's what she meant.
Got it. Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
No. Any other questions?
They made me take chemistry here, so I don't know when that became an option, but I could have used it.
Remember, Mr. Z, they keep changing everything.
Yeah, well,
So it's going to be changing soon.
About a lifetime ago. Sort of to stay on that topic, allowing them to self-select, are we setting up some of those kids to have a lower GPA and maybe actually hurt their college prospects?
So, one, I do believe that colleges do look at it's almost like a sports team, the strength of your schedule. They look at that and they look to see, are you taking all the easy electives or are you challenging yourself?
So there's a fluffy 90 GPA or a
It
difficult
doesn't really
84.
mean anything if
Okay.
you're having it full of just electives of, I don't want to just, I don't want to say one because I might offend somebody, so.
I got you, we're good.
So, with that being said too, it's also that growth mindset that go for it.
Right.
What is the worst that can happen? That's just a number. It's just a number, it's one number in your life, and it could make the difference. It could say to a kid that was on the fence, first off, if you didn't do well in earth science, it has no relationship to how you're gonna do in chemistry. And if you think about it, science is the only area that teachers have to have specific certifications. Like for math, we have a 7 through 12 math certification. But for sciences, you have to have an earth science, you have to have a chemistry, you have to have a teacher just can't teach any one of those courses. So when a child gets exposed to it, they might say like, I always wanted to be pre-med. And then they get into bio or the chemistry part, and they're like, I don't know, this might not be for me. I would like them to make that, choice in their head earlier than later. Or when they're spending their parents' money and saying, this is the first time I took chemistry and boy, this is not for me. Or we might say, I had an amazing chemistry teacher. Wow, I didn't think I wanted to go in the health, field or the bio, and say, that's what I really want to do. So here, I believe we should give the opportunities as much as possible to have our children explore those opportunities and have those doors open. Because if we don't, I think we're doing them a disservice.
And then one last one, participation rates on the state test. So when they're not very high, it's really hard to use that data for anything. Frankly, you look at some of the numbers and to a business person, if you're only at 60% at something, that's not very good. And then I know you answered part of the question, and I did some digging too on my own, and that's kind of maybe sort of typical for a lot of schools. I guess when you have low participation, it makes it hard for us to use that data in guiding the district.
It's not significantly valid.
So if we had more participation, I guess my point is, like, as a parent, right? That was a question, and I've come to have my kids take the test, but it was like, well, if it's not getting used for anything, what's the point? It is used. We do use that, but we can't use it maybe to its full potential right now because the participation rate is low.
So what we do is to our best of our ability, obviously, because it doesn't represent the whole district. It doesn't represent our whole grade 3 or 4. The students who do take it, we do use that information to help guide for their specific needs and supports that we offer in the buildings at the different grade levels. And we're able to make those shifts when necessary. But having such low participation does not help us. And also, if you notice, we increase our participation in the lower grades. And then it dies off as we get to the upper grades. So that's also, you know, as they get older, they don't want to take it. In addition, when you look at the participation rates, you really aren't comparing apples to apples. Even when we did that cohort diagonal for all of you, it's not necessarily the same kids. And then we have some of our students who really excel. What if they're sick and they say, Mom and Dad, I don't want to take it because I'm not feeling good. So they might take it every year, but 1 year. And it's just a revolving door. So that's why we have never really focused in these presentations on that data, because of really there's not much validity to it as a whole. But we do use the data for whatever students take it. We use that to help provide them with extra supports if they need.
You also mentioned about the fact that, you know, it's a 2-day test, let's say that you're living. And so the first day, students will come, and the second day,
They might-
you know, there's a Dunkin' Donuts napkin in the car, and on that napkin says, "Dear Mrs. So-and-so, my child is one day test today." That means, you know, you usually call the parent and say, they're gonna get a score, but they're gonna get a 1, so that's contaminates the data as well.
And then the other thing we also have found too is that some students say, well, oh, my friends don't have to take it, but I have to sit here because my parents are
These
making me
kids
take
are
it.
good, they're all gonna be lawyers one day.
The thing is, some of them, how serious then do they take it when they know that their friends are sitting, you know, not having to take it? So there's a lot of variables and factors that go into that, and it's beyond our control. But what we do, and we had spoke about this last year, we consolidated that letter that went home to, you know, so parents could read it quicker and understand it, and we made those bullets. I also, just so you know, this at the first meeting of the assistant superintendents across Nassau County, this was also discussed. We were talking about what we've done to try to increase it. I mean, districts have gone so far as made their principals create videos, and they said they did all these cute videos and nothing, maybe it went up by 10 kids. So, you know, it's a struggle for all districts. Some districts have higher participation rate just because that's just how it's been. You know, that's been the culture or history. I will say, since I've been here, though, we have increased participation, but again, it's still not to where we need it to be.
Thank you.
You know, any other?
Yeah, maybe the principals need to wear Superman costumes.
I know, I was gonna say Ms. Ayoko had one.
A lot of mileage on that tonight.
But one question that's actually not related to this. So I was looking at some of the old presentations, and there was one from 2023, I think, that had to do with college and career readiness.
That's next month.
Okay, because I don't think I saw it last year.
It wasn't last
Okay.
year.
I was hoping that we could get
coming.
that. Okay, great. That's.
It is on the docket for next month.
Okay.
The reason is sometimes, especially in November, we wait for data for the National Clearinghouse, and sometimes it's available or not available by the time our board meeting.
Okay.
So if for some reason it is not, I would ask them for the board for December, but as of right now, it would be scheduled to go on for November.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Some questions, comments, and so thank you for presenting tonight. Thank you. First off, about 12 months ago, Mrs. Mascarelli, I asked for more information in this presentation, and
You got it.
but well, yeah, to a degree, I'm looking for more years. I want to see trends over years, and I want to see more information about Nassau County. So I didn't get that this year, so I'm not too thrilled about that. But you know, I'd like to see where we are in the bell curve. So
The thing is, Mr. Tesco, as I was explaining, it's very hard to take that data with the Nassau County. So we can show you, as this year's data is not available right now for the 24-25 school year of how other school districts do. But again, the participation rates vary so greatly from district to district. And also when you say, even when you look at us with Massapequa, so for instance, last year, compared to other districts that are around us, we did above them on certain ones, on par with them in ELA and math. However, again, when you look at Massapequa and they have a 39% participation rate, and you have us at a 40% participation rate. Their number of population is so much higher. They have such a sample size that is so bigger than ours that it's really hard to compare. And again, the cohorts, the kids change from year to year. Our cohorts are not staying the same of the kids taking the test from year to year.
But we see multiple years, over a 4 or 5 year period, we'll see the trends, the cohorts move along. So I think if, we're kind of seeing a very small picture here, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm not too thrilled about that, but hopefully next year it will improve. But it definitely is. So, but the thing is, those test scores are on the books, right? Whether 30% of kids took it or 40% of kids
But
took
it's
it.
one data point that I want you to recognize in time.
But what's the best way to?
Well,
Yeah.
we talked about the NWEA. We also have data meetings, as Mr. Ricci was talking about, at our buildings that look at, NWA, if the student took the state exams. They look at informal and formal assessments that are done by the teachers and observations in the classroom. So when we look at students, we look at the whole picture and not just one point in time.
Ms. Pascal, just to talk a little bit about the NWA is described as a curriculum-based measure, okay? So it really reflects what the curriculum is looking like in the districts. And so longitudinal data for that is much more stable than the New York State test, which there's so many mitigating variables, like who's taking it one day and not the other day, the opt-outs, who's opting out, like which sample, right? So are the higher functioning students opting out or the low? So the whole data for New York State 3 through 8 testing is very contaminated in many ways. It provides no real solid ability to track a student from point A to point B, let's say. So NWEA, what Dr. Capel was referring to, has that data. So we can harvest that.
So how can we look into that data better to see how we're doing? I guess is that number that we're seeing here?
Well, we can't compare ourselves with NWA with our surrounding districts. Districts won't provide you, and that's not.
But every district needs to have a curriculum-based measure 3 times, sometimes 4 times a year.
It's a progress monitor.
Right, so it's not, and it's much more relevant to what students need to know and be able to do in any particular grade level than, the New York State test. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the New York State test yet. But they don't provide that same they don't even give you the data back in a really timely fashion, right? That's another whole conversation. We're taking the test in March, we're April, May, depends on when they decide, with holidays, whatever, and you're getting the results in maybe the beginning of September or in August, and it's a flat number. And so how you dig into that to improve, inform instruction, you're not really getting as much as you should. This is a state-wide issue, which is why the curriculum-based measures are so important in terms of their stability for understanding data across.
It's a better barometer over years, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
I understand that.
And the NWEA, did I get that right?
Northwestern
Is private data, because I spent way longer than I should have today for other districts. I was reading minutes. Well, I realized that, and then I went through minutes for other districts to see if they had it in their presentations. It's really not out there.
It's not public information, and
Not everybody.
Yeah, because some people use STAR assessment, Aimsweb, some use iReady, so districts, use a plethora of different ones, so you really can't compare that. That's the internal data that all the school districts really look for, because the other data is not.
I guess though, Doug, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in, but I guess really the only thing you could compare it to is how you did in prior years.
Right.
So you can see a 3-year trend in the NWEAs against yourself or along plane.
And if you look so much further back though, the curriculum has changed. Our standards have changed. Our standards have changed and shifted from the Common Core to the next generation learning standards in all of our subjects from elementary. And as you can see, now they're finally rolling up to the high school. So look, I don't know how many years back, it's not comparing even curriculum at that point or skills and standards.
It shows us where we are. I'd like to see, so I can be comfortable, I have to go to the public and say I'm comfortable with what we're doing. So this tainted data, maybe you can give us a sample how tainted this looks, I guess, because I really would like to know some of these metrics and how we are stacked against the rest of the county. So it seems to be hidden in this Nassau County number, and if it was in a bell curve, maybe I'd better know. Are we one standard deviation away? Are we two? Are we three standard? Yeah. What's going on here? So, and maybe there's cause for alarm. If we're 3 standard deviations away, maybe that's.
I wouldn't say there's any state of alarm because again, we don't have all of our students taking it, but we will provide you with whatever.
I think that not everybody has every student take it, right? So it's kind of we're all in the same boat. So we're on the same boat together. So I think there's some relevancy to it, and if the administration says don't look at that because X, Y, and Z, and then I got to believe them. But
You just have to let us know in the future of how many years prior you would like us to look back.
Great. So then I have some other questions. That was just on my overall opinion of these presentations, but in general, for people unfamiliar with it, what is AP seminary? So it replaces 10th grade English, you said?
We allow our students for 10th grade honors to take it in place of it. We still have English 10 if you want to go.
So yeah, it's a humanities course, and the students are able to get their English 10 credit. So in lieu of taking a regular English 10 honors for us, they're able to take that course. It is like Dr. DePaolo mentioned, it is co-taught with a social studies teacher and an ELA teacher, where they're teaching both skills. They're analyzing multiple stimulus documents. They start with Lord of the Flies for a summer reading assignment. So they're really integrating those ELA skills and those historical thinking skills together.
Okay.
And it really lays the groundwork foundation for so many of the other courses they'll take down the line, which is a fantastic course to really kind of take in the beginning.
And one of the teachers actually had said to me that he wished that his AP seminar students in 10th grade he felt that they were ready to take the 11th grade English regions at that point after completing the course.
Does it pay to let them try? Like, is that something you could even do?
We can talk about it in the.
I don't know, that's a crazy thought for someone who doesn't
Like,
teach.
no, the regions.
The regions.
So.
Like you could get 2 cracks at it or more.
So the thing is, that was our first year, so we were happy
Yeah,
with
well,
our
that makes sense.
success. And now we'll continue
I don't
to
know.
look to.
Our teachers have said, they feel so strongly confident about their students that they do believe they could because of the skills that they learn in that particular course.
Awesome.
When you come and you see those kids present, they're learning public speaking skills and presenting. It is absolutely phenomenal to see the work that they do. You will be blown away.
And at first with any change, people were hesitant and teachers are like, oh my God, and then all eyes are on them, like what if and it was just remarkable to see that our students really exceeded every expectation. We had high expectations, but they exceeded everything that we could have asked for last year.
I'm making my own kid take it this year. After seeing what our kids do here.
So now on the college credit courses,
Mm-hmm.
I guess just what does it cost per credit? Is it like what the school's charging, or
It all varies depending on the school, and
what's the average? I'm just curious what the what the parents are
I just
paying
paid
for now.
$325.
Thank you. I don't want to misquote, so I'd have to get back to you, but since we have parents in the.
$325 for one class or per?
That is 4.
For 3 credits?
3 credits in college.
We'll say that's average.
Can't beat that.
No, that's great.
And our students have left here being sophomores when they attend college. So that is something to really be proud of as a district, that we can save a full year's tuition for parents.
And you did mention some things what we're doing to address
It was.
and test taking, I guess. There was a consolidated letter you put out, Dr. DiPaolo. So what else are we doing? I think we have to beef up our efforts to make sure we get more students that take the tests. So what else can we do, or you want to bring something to the board, I guess, to say we do X?
You're gonna make the funny video?
I'll make a video, yeah. I'll make videos.
Do you want us, the board, make a video? Like I said, there have been a lot of attempts across Long Island. It doesn't seem like that there's very much. I mean, we do the letter, but that come from district. It also comes from our principals. You know, our teachers obviously support, you know, in order to ensure that we provide supports and resources according to that data. But again, ultimately, it is the parents' decision, and it has been a movement in New York for a lot of years at this point.
Well, helping me out as a board member to figure out
You know, listen, it was
where the kids are, you know? So
originally, it was tied to teacher evaluations.
that's
It is
open
no
now,
longer.
right? So,
But there are some people that still just are in that mindset and they don't want to. They also, some people don't want their kids to take this. I can't, if the state is not going to mandate it as a requirement.
is that what has to happen? The state has to say, we gotta be a little
In other states,
tougher on this?
in other states, it's required. For my nieces and nephew who live in another state, it's required for them to get to the next grade. That's out of our hands. That's not in our hands to say that. Also, as Mrs. Mascarella said, other states get instant feedback. They take their state exam, they get their score that day.
That's nice.
We have to wait till September, and the students took it in March.
The whole summer passed and we could have used
You
that
make
to.
classes, you're like, you know.
You know, so there's a lot of things out of our hands, so that's why with 3 through 8, we really look at other data points, as we spoke about, to help make our decisions.
So geometry master is much lower than the county average, I guess. So that is being reviewed? Geometry is, you know, we're 18% in the county math, you know, so we're below the top 30 districts in the county.
Yes, we are
So-
working on it, and again, remember, that was the first administration of a new exam.
Okay. But yeah, everybody takes the same exam, so,
We
yeah.
are working at it, and we are
Acknowledge that.
continuously, and we're looking at resources and tools to help us with that, in order to really hone in on what skills and standards our students, our instruction, our students need help with.
Something going on outside.
I'm sorry.
Someone's singing as they're
I'm so sorry.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knew she didn't have a moment.
It's a happy thing going on.
I apologize if
And
someone's singing.
my last question is, you have a slide here with the Envision Mathematics Assessment?
Yes.
Kindergarten through fifth grade, so what exactly is that? What is
So-
Envision's assessment?
So the teachers track their data from every unit assessment that is given in Visions to see our students' proficiency across every single assessment that was given last year.
Is that a culminate? You're saying it's a
Culminate,
culmination?
so it's the average of all the assessments that every student in that grade took. Which, you know, for the first year implementation, to have that higher proficiency rate, that, you know, the teachers really worked hard with our students, and we're seeing the academic vocabulary and the skills really growing with them in math.
Does Envisions tell us what's a good number? Because right now, the lowest one is kindergarten, so does Envisions tell us, oh, you're okay with?
So we use
76%,
proficiency as, you know, the passing of 65 or higher when we looked at the internal data.
But does Envisions give us a target, like, oh, you're meeting the target plain edge, or
This
you're
was
above the
just
target,
us.
below the target?
These are just math tests.
These are math tests.
But it's Envision,
It's up to
the Envision mathematics, but does the curriculum, does the overarching curriculum tell us
65% is proficiency.
proficiency? Yeah, so there's no like, so 76% for kindergarten,
Of getting 65 or higher
Exactly.
across all their tests for the.
You're always gonna have that with kindergarten, because Envisions is so much reading and language, that kindergarten's always gonna,
But
is always gonna, I don't wanna even say struggle, but I mean, that's just gonna be how it is with Envisions.
It's a very new format too, so when the kids aren't reading the test to themselves in kindergarten, the
Right.
teachers will read it out loud to
you know,
them.
there's a transition in
But
kindergarten.
it's a very, they're taking
are the
tests.
pre-K kids doing, are we prepping them in some way? We,
So with pre-K, everything is vertically aligned. They have the communication with the kindergarten teachers. You know, but we're not teaching, you know, pre-K.
we're not teaching
we're not
Envision,
really-
but
You're not teaching addition and subtraction at that point, but you are getting them to have numbers, you know, starting with number sense and with the reading, but everything's vertically aligned. But again, when taking a test in kindergarten, we don't have tests in pre-K, you know, like that. We have different monitoring tools, but everything's read out loud to them. So with kindergarten, you're transitioning, they are reading parts of the at the beginning, they're reading the tests out loud. Then we have to transition them to read the pieces by themselves, but also if they need support, to have that. So, but and then you look at first grade with 91%.
Shoots up, yeah, so
It shoots up.
it's
So,
connecting
yeah,
somewhere there, I got you.
kindergarten's a big transition year. Kids have never seen those formalized tests like that.
I need ChatGPT to help my kindergarten to do her math homework.
It's okay, but look, it's.
It's better.
All right, thank you very much.
And remember, you're not supposed to be able to do it, they are, and if they need
Well, that's
help.
good because I can't.
And the thing is, if they need help and they get stuck, it's always just leave it and say, I need help. Go on to the next one. It's okay if they don't answer everything. It is our job to assist with it. I have friends all over that they post, their kids' homework and stuff, and they're like, help, I can't do my first, and this is in a different state. So it is all over, but again, it is not the parent's responsibility to know how to do it. If you can't help, I just say, right, I tried, I need help, and then the teachers will go over it. So that is our job.
Okay, thank you for answering.
Thank you.
my questions, yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Have a nice birthday.
Thank you.
What's left?
Sorry, what's left of your birthday, yeah.
Okay, moving on to discussion item number 2, audit committee chairperson. So Mr. Caruso, who is the audit committee chairperson, is looking to resign. He's
Retire.
What's that?
Retire.
Fine, retire. Yes, he does. I mean, he's been doing it for 20 years. Yeah.
Step back.
So,
Trying to hang it up.
he's been doing it for 20 years. He was the only audit committee chairperson for Plan Edge. So with that being said, we're going to be going out to the public and advertising this position to see if there's anyone in the community who has the qualifications listed in the document that's attached here on board docs to fill that role. It's also been discussed, maybe we have a vice chairperson also as a backup. But it's basically a person that you would expect to have certain skill sets, namely an understanding of financial accounting, finance in general, understanding how to read financial statements. Doesn't necessarily have to be someone who fully understands GASB, but understands the audit process as well, which, again, whether it's private world or the public world, there are many similarities. There are definitely a lot of differences, speaking from experience, but that's pretty much it. So please be on the lookout for Parent Square. I think we'll put it up on the website as well. We'll have a link for people to apply. Depending on the level of interest, I think the board at that point will decide whether we'll pick a few resumes and interview people. When we get 2 people, I think that's the answer right there. So really, what's that?
As long as they're qualified.
Yeah, of course, as long as they meet the qualifications. So I'll leave it at that. Peter, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add since you're the, head of business here.
I'm sure we'll find the qualified candidate within the community. And, I do like the idea of the co-chairperson or backup.
Perfect.
I think co-chair makes a little more sense because in reading some of it, and we don't have to make that decision tonight. I'm not sure there really is a function for a vice chair, but I think there is for a co-chair. But we could get the resumes and then make some decisions. I think.
That's good.
So you can also make it a board member. I mean, it doesn't have to be a separate person from the community.
I thought it had to not be a board member. Does it have to be?
No.
They can't be employed by the district or have a close relationship with someone who is employed by the district, but there's no prohibition against a board member.
Right.
I think it's good.
No.
As independent as possible still. but-
There is a requirement to be independent,
Right.
and I would prefer someone who's a board member.
Right.
As a chair.
Okay. Any other comments or anything on that? No?
I can't wait to go through the resumes, because I think Mr. Caruso was great, so. Yeah, he was a great pick.
The third item here is Nassau Suffolk School Board Association membership. So this is an item I asked to be added. So the reason why this came up is that Mr. Ponticello and myself had attended the Nassau Suffolk School Board Association resolutions dinner, and I left there kind of upset, in the sense that I just really am failing to understand what the purpose of our membership in that organization is for. One of the things that really stood out to me was that for each of the resolutions, for those that may not know, which are the same resolutions that we vote on for the New York State School Board Association. I think the purpose of the dinner is to get Long Island to kind of agree, but it's really, it's not like a real vote. It's just kind of getting everyone aligned. So two resolutions really stuck out to me. And the thing that bothered me about these two resolutions was the fact that they have committees from the New York State School Board Association, also the executive committee for Nassau Suffolk School Board, and they give their recommendations whether they recommend the resolution or not. And so one of the resolutions had to do with adding whole milk to schools again because of the health benefits associated with that, which was fine, that was recommended, and that pretty much passed. But there was another resolution which was not recommended by both committees, and that had to do with providing healthier food to students, including food free from pesticides, higher standards for lower count of heavy metals in food, and also focus on not really having food that's significantly altered, genetically modified. And that failed. And so my concern with this is we're part of an organization that should advocate for something. And it just was kind of confusing to me how something that would advocate, like advocating for a school board as a school board organization to have healthier foods, especially after the governor is saying that we should have 2 of the 3 square meals a day offered by schools, how you could be opposed to that. And the only reason why I could come up with a reason is that obviously it's biased. Once you start putting your stamp of approval or disapproval on a particular resolution, that's pretty much how the vote's going to go. It's very rare that a vote's going to go opposite that way. So with respect to Nassau Suffolk School Board Association, I just kind of want us to think about that. I failed to ask Peter what the cost is for the membership annually for us to be a part of that. New York State School Board Association, I have the same types of concerns, but I do see some level of value there just because of the training and other things that they offer. But I just wanted to raise this, to try to get more information from Peter in terms of cost. And then I think as a board, maybe at the next meeting, I'll bring this up for a vote, whether we want to still be part of this organization or not. Between now and then, I'm also going to send an email to the head of the Nassau Suffolk School Board Association, letting them know of my concerns and see if he has a response to that or if he wants to address the board somehow. But that's just something I really wanted to raise among this group. Okay. So if there's nothing else, we'll move on to business. But before we jump in, I know if there were, there's some items here with respect to policies. Just wanted to.
Yeah, Mr. Bayrudi, I'd like to make a motion to table number 25, 26, 30, and 31 based on some language that central administration brought to the policy committee that there might be some things we have to still work through, and I'd like the policy committee to finish the work. That's number 25, 26, 30, and 31.
Okay.
And I'll read it to you real quick. That was the regulation 6830R expense reimbursement, 1130 news media regulations, 6830 expense reimbursement, and 6850 meals and refreshments. Everything else was okay.
Second that motion to table?
Let me just run through this.
Okay.
So, do I have a motion to approve items number 1 through 35 with the exception of 25, 26, 30, and 31? Mr. Garcia, second.
Second?
Mr. Pascarella, all in favor?
Okay, motion passes 7-0.
Do I have a motion to table? You want to table, right?
Yes, I make a motion to table 25, 26, 30, and 31.
Do I have a second? Mr. Ponticello, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 7, Pride and Plain Edge, opportunity for board members to present on attendance, participation in school and/or community events.
Sure. I would congratulate Bobcats Cheer on their showcase on Saturday. A near flawless event. Always great to see so many members of the community out to support our young athletes at these events. Also was able to attend the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, the breakfast, as well as to go to lunch at the middle school and walk around West and see some of the events there. Thank you to the PFT for sponsoring the breakfast. It was, as always, a wonderful day, a wonderful event. And I would like to say myself, I share with Dr. Capiola that my children woke up in the morning excited to go in for the event and interact with many first responders that we are very proud to have.
Anyone else?
I attended the JV and varsity volleyball Dig Pink event, and to add on to what Leah mentioned earlier, we doubled our donation this year. We raised just over $2,000, and that will be donated to Maggie's Wish, which is a local charity affecting people with breast cancer. And they're actually going to come to the school next Wednesday to meet the 2 teams, and we will present the check to them that day.
So I attended the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day at the middle school. Had a great presentation of an electronic sniffing dog. So when they go to, they're trying to find a
Watch out,
cell phone.
Cell phone policy, ready to go.
They had
exactly.
the cell phone and the dog found
It
it.
was pretty nuts
Came
that
and found
he
it.
was able to find the cell phone in the drawer, so that was pretty awesome. The bomb squad gentleman was pretty awesome too, from the FBI. That was pretty awesome to see him just talk about stories and what he does and his training. So that was great. And I went to the homecoming game, and it was great to see, like the whole town out there, and the kids did great on the football field. We won big, and everyone had fun, and it was just a good night overall. So that was nice to see.
I guess we all went to all the same events. Thank you for all the hard work on the law enforcement first responder day. That's always really a star of what we do here. I think it's also just great, when you do what I do for a living, you can take your kids to work. When you're a police officer, a fireman, EMT, and all the other things that were represented, certainly the FBI, bomb expert, you're not taking your kids to work. So I think it's awesome they get to see them kind of and be part of that. And it also just reminds our students who the heroes are in the world, right? These are the people to look up to, not the people on TikTok and everywhere else. I want to say with the homecoming game and the pass the torch, look, all the stuff was great, and there was more than a couple dads blaming someone for cutting onions over on the field. But those T-shirts that the kids were wearing, the moms were all, it's amazing how fast they can come up with these plans. They're saving the T-shirts and having them remade when they're seniors to wear when they pass the torch 12 years from now, I guess that would be. So I guess we're gonna have to make sure we don't forget to keep doing that. That was awesome, and all the people who put that together. And I feel like every event I went to this month, there were kids and adults wearing pink. So I want to say thank you. This really is a community where we're all just kind of looking for how to support each other. And breast cancer obviously has affected a lot of families on Long Island, and anything we can do to get more awareness and certainly raise money is great. So great job out there in Plain Edge.
Anyone else? Okay. Moving on to informational reports. Are there any questions on informational reports?
Mr. Bayrudy? I just think under old business, sorry. A little update. So the search firm got started for the new superintendent. They're working on a community survey and all the community outreach that's going to be happening. So the job will be posted relatively soon. It's already on their website as a coming soon, so that's continuing. That outreach will be starting over the next month essentially, and I just wanted to mention, update everybody that that's continuing. I know we've all been working pretty hard on that.
Just to follow up on that, I think the posting will officially go out before the weekend. So, and thank you, Mr. Garcia, for helping to speed things along by working on the brochure. It came out really great.
Hopefully we get it done by tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you will. We're moving along with that, and I think we're seeing great progress. One of the key things that's important in this process, which I think we've received a lot of questions, is involvement. And so with respect to that, I would say that our goal is to have every stakeholder involved in this process and use all the tools that are at our disposal to ensure that when we identify the permanent superintendent, that we're trying to take into account all those characteristics that people think are important. So thank you for raising that.
Mr. Baker, yeah, one of the whole business, we're done with that superintendent search. All right, so just wanted to remind us, or maybe we want to do it now, put it out there. We have goals that we haven't approved yet, I don't know if you want to put out, starting today to the next meeting, our board goals for the year.
Oh.
I don't know if you want to, because we said, we developed them.
Yeah, I mean, so to Mr. Pasquale's point, we worked with some professional development people to develop a mission statement, vision, and then also new goals as a board. Obviously, that got sidetracked with everything going on. So we should probably revisit that at some point and see if we bring it up. I think the board should think about that, obviously, with the idea that a new superintendent might be worth it to get their opinion too. We should still set some goals, obviously, but I think we have to be, at least proceed with intent in terms of like what we're doing, because, it clearly is a level of transition, and so I just don't want to.
We can advance both, split the mission and vision and the goals into two conversations.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We can present the mission and vision at the next board meeting, submit it to the community for feedback, vote to approve them at the board meeting after that, and in tandem have a deeper conversation on the goals and how we want to proceed with that process in light of having an interim superintendent and what that would look like. And that might be an area where we can tap into professional development expertise.
Right.
That sounds fair. Yeah, sounds fair.
Yeah, let me reach out to them and see what they say also.
Okay, that's great.
Their take on it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that was kind of.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Moving forward. No problem, yeah. Just remembered that like 10 minutes ago, so.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Is that it for old business?
No more surprises for me.
Informational reports, any questions on informational reports?
Oh, question for Peter. There was a claims auditor, I'm not sure if we resolved this, but the vendor address issue, as I saw, was that ever resolved, I guess? You were looking into it, I'm not sure if had an outcome. The claims audit, one of the.
Everything's resolved before the check goes out.
Yeah, it is, but I guess you were looking into it a little further, I guess, why we get.
That was several months ago, right? This isn't something.
No, this isn't, well, there's one in this claims audit too, so.
I can look into the particular instance, but sometimes vendors change their remit to address. And we might not pick it up, or we've gone through, sometimes vendors have multiple addresses in the system. So we've gone through and cleaned up vendors with multiple addresses up and reconfirmed a lot of the addresses. We've also deactivated a lot of vendors that haven't been used, so.
Okay, that was in response.
Yeah.
I guess my question was like 4, 5, 6 months ago at this point. But that's what you've done over the past?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So it should be a cleaner report because of that work to get rid of the old locations and whatnot. Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with the report.
Okay. Next up is opportunity for public comment. All comments are directed to the Board of Education. President, please We ask that you please limit it to 2 minutes in total. We ask that you use the microphone and clearly state your name. Oh, yeah, please.
Aiden, you might have to lower the microphone.
I can hear them.
Good evening. Well, good evening. My name is Ann Dotsey. I'm here tonight as the president of the library board. I have a quick question and then a statement. So the quick question is, it went very fast, but you did approve the results of the bongo, yes? Okay, good.
Congratulations.
Therefore, I'm here tonight on behalf of the Library Board of Trustees and staff to thank the Board of Education members for your support of the library bond vote. I believe you were instrumental in helping it pass. I also want to thank Teresa, the district clerk, interim, I guess, her staff and the poll workers for setting up and running the voting process. Lastly, I want to thank the Plaintish community for giving us a brand new library. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Raise this a little bit. Congratulations, Docs, on that. Look forward to seeing you in the library. Okay, good evening. Perry Fuchs, President, Plaintiff Federation of Teachers. Nice to see everyone tonight. I have just 3 quick statements, and I'll try to make it brief. First is about the Wizards. We're actually about half sold out, which is great because we use the money that is generated to give away nearly $10,000 to well-deserving Plainage High School graduating seniors. And I believe that the PTA gives away over $10,000. So it's nights like that that make that possible. So we're half sold out. The date is November 12th. Tickets available online on Plainage Schools. There's going to be an assembly in the schools on November 3rd, and we're going to sell out pretty much instantaneously that day. So if you've not gotten your tickets yet, I encourage the community, get your tickets. The event's November 12th. It's going to be a great night. The Wizards are incredibly entertaining. If you've never seen them before, we've sponsored them here for like over 10 years already, and they do a fantastic job. So please come out and support your own community by coming to our Wizards event.
Hopefully we can avoid the fire alarm this year.
We did a great job.
My next comments, and I'm not really looking for a response, they're just comments. As the president of the union, I get a ton of Facebook posts sent my way. So I want to comment on 2 posts tonight that were sent to me by members, actually. One was about kids not being ready for middle school. I don't have the exact post up in front of me, but it was something along the lines of, when I drop my kids off, and it was made by a board member, and I don't need to go into, when I drop my kids off, it's like dropping off at Harvard. A lot of my members and the teachers in the school, my members are the teachers, very disheartened to hear that that statement. All the elementary teachers and the middle school teachers work tirelessly every day to make sure that our kids are prepared for middle school, especially the 5th and 6th grade teachers. They were especially upset. We have programs here that are second to none. We have a summer program that brings the kids into the middle school that was created by the teachers of the middle school to make sure that we can do the best thing possible for the kids to be ready for middle school. It's a transition. Transitions are hard. We don't need Board of Ed beating us up on Facebook about how difficult those are. We're well aware, and that's why we work tirelessly to make those transitions as smooth as possible. Remember that you're not just parents complaining on Facebook anymore. You're the Board of Ed. If teachers did the same thing that was done, we'd actually be subject to discipline. So I would ask you to please refrain from saying anything negative about our school programs. They were made to do the best that we could for the kids, and everything can always be improved. I'm not saying that they're the best. And improvement is something that we always want to achieve, but going on social media and making those statements is not helping. The other one, I gotta take off my glasses. The other one was a post about using schools, a post about computer use in schools, comparing what we do to the Waldorf school, which is a private school and not subject to state standards. Further, there was a follow-up comment to that from the Board of Ed that said we should limit computer use in elementary to only 1 or 2 periods a week. I'm pretty confident that when that comment was made, comprehensive review of the standards wasn't done. I mean, the state has a 20-page document on the standards K through 12 for computer literacy. We're not going to satisfy those standards in 1 to 2 periods a week. I don't know what people are thinking, but we don't have kids play on computers. That's not what happens. They're learning numerous programs. Reading, math, science, it's all computer-based. The exams that the kids take, NWEA, I just wrote a quick list, NWEA, ACT, SAT, AP, the state tests that we discussed tonight, 3 through 8, are all computer-based assessments. Eventually, even the Regents is going to be computer-based. And we're going away from paper exams. If we limit how much computer time the kids get, especially in the elementary school where they're learning for the first time, it's going to hurt our students and limit their success and put them at a tremendous disadvantage to other districts. Our teachers have put countless hours.
Mr. Beirut, I think we're well over 2 minutes at this point.
Thank you. I appreciate your flexibility. Teachers have put countless hours to move our lessons to digital platforms. Now you want to go backwards to how things were when we went to school. I'm the same age as you guys. 35 years ago. We can't. The world has changed. We've spent countless hours doing professional development to make sure that our students and your kids are ready for the 21st century. This would be detrimental to kids. Once again, I simply ask you to please be more mindful of the statements that you make on Facebook or any social media as Board of Ed trustees. Thank you very much.
I just do want to make a comment about something. So, point well made about being more cautious about what we say in social media. That being said, we could say in social media, we could say here at the board meeting. I do still believe that we're overusing Chromebooks in our classrooms. I think that there's evidence showing that children aren't doing as well because of the introduction or the overusage of technology in classrooms. I mean, just from looking at children's handwriting in 6th grade relative to where we were 30 years ago is just proof. Talking to professionals who are also in education that indicate that there are, because of brain plasticity and things of that sort, using your fingers to write essays, etc., actually helps develop the brain versus just keying something into a keyboard. I think, when we talk about these things, we also have to be mindful that someone as our age, we grew up, like you said, with the old ways. And I think we're pretty, at least I can speak for myself, I'm fairly proficient in the use of technology and things like that. So my concern also is this idea, especially in education, that we need to start pushing AI. AI is not going to help our students develop critical thinking skills. So for example, in my line of work, this idea of coding, it's pretty much going to go away. I mean, I can tell you right now that our general counsel at my office basically created a program just chatting into a message dialogue. You can look it up, it's called Replit. He created a whole program based on that. He basically coded 90% of it just using common English wording, saying move this box here, do this there, and the other 10% is going to be done by professional coders. So when we think about how do we prepare our students for the future, I think technology is a component to that. And these kids are born with technology in their hands. So they're pretty comfortable in front of the screen, unlike probably prior generations. But now they're losing basic skill sets that they should have. And living with an OT, fine motor seems to be one of those that really is hurting our children and is becoming prevalent. With respect to the other posts, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, it was my post, so I'd like to address
say it on social media, or I could say here at a board meeting. Either way, it's going to be spoken about publicly. I wasn't trying to be insulting. I think we just need to re-review our curriculum and the tools that we're bringing into the classroom. So that, I apologize if anyone was offended. That wasn't the intent. My intent is, let's look at what we've done over the last 10 years and then reassess, has that really worked out for our students or has it not? I'm kind of leaning towards, you need to pull back a little bit. That's where I come from.
So, Mr. Bayrudy, the post about my child as an individual, that was not a post from the board, is now the second time in this room my struggles as a father and my children's struggles were used for political purposes at a board meeting. It's not right, it's wrong. My child's struggles transitioning from 5th grade to 6th grade, that post was well over a month ago, and if somebody had an issue with it, they were more than welcome to bring it to me. I brought my concerns through the school system properly. My post talking about the struggle my child had transitioning from 5th to 6th grade was shared with people across the country who also have similar struggles, not respective to Plain Edge, but from the transition from elementary school to secondary. It is the second time my children have been used in this district. It is out of control, it's ridiculous, and this will not be the last time I speak about this incident that just happened here.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Well, actually,
Sorry.
Just for the idea. Okay, so hello to the entire board. My name is Erin Ayub, and I'm a parent of 3 children here in Plain Edge District. So I'm here this evening, where I know there's a lot going on, but I'm here this evening to request revisiting the topic of the late buses from the after-school programs, which include but not limited to extra help with educational needs, clubs, honor society and other meetings, athletic practices and training. We here in Plain Edge have built new state-of-the-art facilities. We have enriched diverse clubs and programs for our student body to feel a sense of pride and belonging. To help them continue to grow and build a sense of confidence, to foster new friendships and mentorship through these programs with other students or faculty, we continue to make enhancements within our district. Many of us want our children to be involved, to continue to learn and grow outside of the typical school day, to avoid just going home to electronics or getting into trouble outside of the structured time in and around the community. We encourage them to take advantage of all there is to offer. What is lacking is the support with safe transportation from these programs. This leads to the lack of inclusivity for a large population in our community. So where we have these wonderful programs, there's demographics within our community, and I'm just going to run through a couple to consider. So many families have 2 full-time working parents. So the schedule does not always align with the school day. This poses a problem with families with pickups from after-school programs because of their schedule. Single-parent homes in this economy and living on Long Island to support a family, single parents may need to work more than one job. Even with working one job, there may not be a partner to help navigate the routine of pickup. Families with multiple children. The challenge of navigating pickups for multiple children in a district, I can speak to that, and I'm sure that many of you I know can as well, where if you have a child at the middle school, but you have a child at the high school, maybe you have 2 at the high school, and one is at a varsity game in Locust Valley, and you have to pick up a child from the middle school, and how can we be in all those places at one time? Families that may have elderly family members in their home or a spouse with medical needs at home and can't, again, be in multiple places at the same time. Then to consider new families in our community, right? So we open our doors to open our community to new families. There's a challenge of not knowing families. I'm fortunate enough to, with my oldest very involved in sports. Sports are unique that way because you're building these programs from a very young age and upward. They build a strong sense of community. The families are close and we help each other out. But as a new family coming into this community, how are you you may not know people. Maybe your child doesn't know other people yet in the community. And then there's a whole other piece to that where there could be a language barrier, which also prevents people from being able to connect and to build those connections to help navigate around the community, getting their children from programs. Parents that are teachers themselves and possibly are an advisor or coach in their own district, maybe working at extra help programs and unable to be here to get their children from programs. I can speak to that. My husband
my now husband was a coach here for actually 2 years, and it was very challenging. Again, if he was, coaching a match, and we had to navigate that, with ourselves. Maybe there's a child that has difficulty making friends, and so they don't have that built-in connection, and their parents can't navigate them around. Or the unfortunate situation of a student that doesn't have a healthy situation at home, and maybe the school club or the teacher or friend present at the program, that's their safe space. And they want to be there and they want to be a part of these programs that we offer, but they don't have a safe way home. So I know I'm not alone in this. I've spent countless hours trying to coordinate rides for my children and worrying when my son would possibly rush home and ride his bike back to the high school to catch, in winter weather to get to winter track. Or most recently had a situation where, with the navigation of with the phones and the new policy in place, which I'm not here, to argue that, but I had to quick send a message to one of my middle school children saying, I don't have a ride for you, and you can't stay for practice. You're gonna have to come home. He didn't receive that. He stayed at the school and then said to me later, I'll just walk home, which is crossing Hempstead Turnpike, and that doesn't feel safe. So, I'm working in Queens and I'm spending the last hour and a half of my day trying to navigate how am I getting this kid home. Thankfully, there are amazing people in this community. There was a friend of mine who I had to reach out to a bunch of people, and luckily somebody came through and helped support me with that. But again, I have those connections and there are people here that are not. So I feel that the last time that this was trialed, it was not set up for success with times that did not coordinate with the programs. Other neighboring schools with larger towns have been able to successfully provide late buses for their students. We are a smaller community with our own bus company, and I feel confident that it's possible. So I would be happy to speak further, to share some of the ideas that I know that I've already kind of considered, if that was something that you'd be open to. And, I just feel that I have thought of, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Just to be able to allow more students to get involved. We have such great programs here. There should be a safe ride home. People shouldn't have to worry about getting their child from point B to point C. So thank you for your time. I'm sorry it was a little lengthy, but I appreciate it, and thanks for your consideration.
Thank you. Just as a point, it is something that was on my agenda for this year to put together a robust committee to see if we can address that, as well as revisiting the capital improvements committee, set it up slightly different so that we can get better community input. But point well made, and we'll discuss that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? No? Do I? Go ahead.
I move to adjourn.
Second? Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
Motion passes 7-1.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.